We start in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. For as long as humans have pondered the question of God's existence, one common theme in religious history has been the appearances of miracles, events that defy the natural order and point to a power beyond human reach. These events, if real, are not merely strange, they demand an explanation. They claim to pierce the veil of the ordinary and testify to something extraordinary, namely the divine. Islam, from its earliest revelations to the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is rich with such claims. It does not ask for blind faith, but rather invites investigation, offering signs, prophecies, and knowledge far beyond the reach of any 7th century man. Unlike myths or legends born in obscurity, the Islamic tradition puts forth specific and verifiable statements, many of which can be examined through the lens of history, science, and logic. In this video, we will present a rational argument for proving the existence of God, known as the argument from Islamic miracles. This argument does not rest on emotional appeal or inherited belief, but on logical structure and empirical claims. If the premises of this argument are true, then its conclusion that God, as described in Islam, exists follows necessarily. So let us begin with the definition of what a miracle is, before unfolding the argument and defending its premises. The definition of a miracle. According to the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, a miracle is an event that is not explicable by natural causes alone. A reported miracle excites wonder because it appears to require as its cause something beyond the reach of human action and natural causes. Historically, the appeal to miracles has formed one of the primary lines of argument in favor of specific forms of theism. The argument typically being that the event in question can best or can only be explained as the act of a particular deity. And this is exactly what we're going to discuss. How miracles in Islam prove the existence of God. Premise 1. Islam presents miracles, including verifiable prophecies and other extraordinary signs that go beyond natural explanation. Premise 2. The best explanation for these miracles is the existence of a divine being, specifically God as described in Islam. Conclusion. Therefore, God as described in Islam exists. If both premises are factually true, then the conclusion must follow. So, about proving the premises. Premise 1, that Islam presents miracles, including verifiable prophecies and other extraordinary signs that go beyond natural explanation. I will not go into detail proving this premise here in this video, because it will be thoroughly proved in the videos that follow. In these videos that would follow, numerous examples of miraculous content in Islam, such as accurate prophecies, inaccessible historical information, scientific knowledge unknown at the time, and more. These are, and even physical miracles, these are not just vague or symbolic claims. Many will be supported with concrete evidence and reasoning. By that time you have gone through all of these videos, you will have encountered repeatedly and independent verifiable demonstrations and evidences of the miraculous nature of Islamic sources. For that reason, the truth of this premise will be affirmed through the rest of the videos, through the section that will be on the Prophet. Premise 2. The best explanation for these miracles is the existence of a divine being, specifically God as described in Islam. The miracles presented in Islam are not anonymous or vague in attribution. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, who performed or conveyed many of these miracles, explicitly attributed them to Allah, i.e. God. Likewise, the Quran, the central text containing many of these miraculous elements, repeatedly and clearly claims to be a revelation from God. Therefore, the explanation offered within the Islamic tradition is not an afterthought, but a central claim. These miracles are from God. So, when assessing the source of these extraordinary signs, there are generally two possibilities. The first possibility is the Islamic claim that these originate from God. And the second possibility is the skeptical claim that Islam is man-made and everything within it is man-made. These signs genuinely go beyond what could be produced by human knowledge or ability, then the second explanation that they are man-made becomes false. So this leaves us with the first explanation that they are from God as the most reasonable and coherent one. And since the miracles themselves are embedded within the framework of Islamic revelation, the God they point to is the God described in Islam. As we read from the definition of the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, that these miracles point to a specific deity. So if we're going to prove the Islamic miracles, by necessity, what they will prove is God as described in Islam. So if you're going to prove that truly that these Islamic miracles are true, that's not going to prove Christian claims or Jewish claims or Buddhist claims. This is going to prove that God as described specifically in Islam. So the conclusion, since both of these premises are true, as established or will be established, especially the first premise in next videos, since both of them are true, it logically follows that God, as described in Islam, exists. So this is a straightforward argument for the existence of God as described in Islam. If we prove these two premises, without a doubt, and it's easy to prove, the second one is obvious, as we explained, and the first one will be repeatedly proved throughout this course, throughout the videos that will be specifically on prophethood, or on the prophethood of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So both of these premises are easily provable, and we will prove them easily. Since both of them are provable and true, then the conclusion that God as described in Islam exists is a necessary conclusion.